Hey everybody, what's up? It is 8:02. Good to see you, it's your friend James Shaw. Thank you so much for choosing to be here today. If you're just watching on Facebook or you're watching on YouTube, you missed a really great, well, we call it the pre-show, but the first half of the mastermind. We talked about Nicole's question about working with a buyer who wants a deal and isn't taking any of her advice. Has anyone ever worked with a buyer like that? If you missed it, go to wherever you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, whatever, and go listen to the first half. Really good stuff, good ideas from everybody this morning. So if you missed it, go back and listen to it. Today, here's what we're doing. We're continuing our conversation that we had yesterday about kind of that Q3 reflection and fourth quarter action, where I asked you, how did you do? What was your goal? How did you do? How do you feel about it? And what do you need to do next? I want to know what you did next. I want to know how you're going to be on purpose with purpose for the rest of the year. 85 days left. One of the assignments I gave you was to figure out how many of those days are you actually working. I want to know what those are. What'd you come up with? We'll talk about that in just a minute. We're going to do something goods too. We always start off the call with something good. And so I know that Susan has something good in Toronto. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. I'm not usually functional at this time of day and on camera, so here I am. That's a win in itself. Listen, I can't even begin to explain to you how good this is. I'm in real estate because I have a special needs adult son who graduated high school 11 years ago. I'm an RN for 26 years who went into real estate for flexibility of my schedule to support my son. It has been my dream and it is my why to open his own housing for him and to also provide respite and other care for other families, because I can't go on vacation unless I have somebody to take care of my son. And I'm not a spring chicken, folks. So anyway, this is so needed. I am looking now at the opportunity that has come my way to acquire this house. I'm doing a rent-to-own contract because that's what I got to do right now. And it's just a really rare opportunity. I've got the pieces are falling into place. I have people just suddenly falling in my lap, giving me pots and pans and dishes and furniture. And I mean, I just can't even believe it. So I guess what I'm here to say about something good is never give up. People, keep doing what you do. Never lose that vision and your purpose. If you know it, if you don't, just keep thinking about it and you'll figure it out. It'll become apparent. I thought doing this myself for a very long time. It is undeniable that I'm supposed to do this. And
Yes.
I even have people, lined up. So anyway, that is my amazing something good. I'm looking for help as well in the Toronto area. So if you know people that can help me do this, please feel free to share. Thank
Susan,
you.
thank you for sharing all that. How fun. And cheers to all our nurses. My mom's nurse for 40 years, labor and delivery nurse for 40 years. So
Me too.
cheers to all the nurses. Susan,
Labor and
thank you.
delivery.
That's right. Thank you. Lauren, you get the last one. Good morning, Lauren Cox.
Good morning, James. Thanks for letting me share. I have two quick things that I wanted to share that were something good for me. One is that my husband is a speech therapist and works for a company, Fox Rehab, that's a great company. And I just got a call last night from one of his coworkers that's buying her first home. And this will be my fourth person to help with his work. And I'm just so grateful for that. And the other thing is we are having our anniversary coming up soon, and we just planned a weekend away with no children. So I'm really excited about that.
That is fun. Terry and I just did that too. That's awesome. Have fun with that, Lauren. Thank you so much. Couple of reminders before we get started. It is an Inspire Tuesday. So Inspire members, we're meeting at noon Eastern today. Ronnie DiCarlo, our RPR expert, is going to walk you through all the stuff that's new and that maybe you didn't realize you could do inside of RPR, so that as you're doing your equity analysis and helping people understand the value of your home, you know how to best do it. So Ronnie today, noon Eastern, is doing our RPR workshop for you. Wednesday webinar is tomorrow, and I'm talking to Erica Sizemore in Raleigh. She sells a house a week, and she sells a house a week by getting really narrow. She figured out what's the right client for her, and she wants to help you do the same. Instead of trying to serve everybody, figure out what makes the most sense for you and how to do it. She's going to teach you how tomorrow. 2 p.m. Eastern. That's open to everybody. jamesdshaw.com/Wednesday webinar. jamesdshaw.com/Wednesday webinar. And then finally, next week. Did y'all know about next week? It's our first ever Inspire Collective and Pivot Shift Ahead Challenge. It's called Pipeline Power Week. Pipeline Power Week. Now, what we'll do is we'll do a quick 20-minute overview of the challenge every single day next week at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Zoom room will open at 7:30. We'll do the challenge stuff at 8 Eastern. Then Inspire members, we have an hour for you at noon Eastern, along with extra tools and things to support you in the challenge. So that is next week, Pipeline Power Week. If you want to stay in the know on Pipeline Power Week, go to pipelinepowerweek.com. pipelinepowerweek.com. And this is a great chance for those of you that are all into everything we do here inside of Pivot Shift Ahead. This is a great chance to invite your friends who make fun of you for getting up every day this early to be on a Zoom. This is your chance to say, hey, come check out what we're doing and fill your pipeline at the same time. pipelinepowerweek.com. Send them the link, post it in your Market Center Facebook group, post it on your socials, all that jazz. All right, so yesterday, what we talked about was this little thing from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. I'll put it back on the screen for you, for anybody who missed it. And it's a really, really, really good model to look at. The consultative interview, it's MREA page 167. And on page 167, it asks you to answer these questions. What was your goal? And I asked you to think about your goal for Q3. What was your goal for Q3? How did you do and how do you feel about it? You gave us all these answers yesterday. You did a great job. And then the big question was, based on how you did, what is your goal and what do you need to do now? What's your goal and what do you need to do now? Well, I want to know what that is. What do you need to do now? You see, we end every call, we have for 5 years, with saying you got your inspiration, go put in the perspiration. Although I'm not confident I actually said it yesterday. But that's how we end every call. You got your inspiration, go put in the perspiration. Well, the question is, did you put in the perspiration? As you reflect on Q3 and prepare for Q4, what is your goal for Q4 and what do you need to do now? I want to hear from you on that. What clarity did you get? See, there's someone sitting on the sidelines that just flat out isn't sure what they need to do now. So I want to hear from you, Erin Nelson. Good morning.
Good morning. So I did what you said yesterday, and I went back and looked, and I have about 45 days left that I'm going to be working between our Realtor Summit, Advance, and all the things, Christmas, whatever. I am 9 units short of my goal this year, and honestly, I just don't see how that would be achievable for me. I got really busy during the summer, and I realized this week that I let lead gen and follow-up slip through the cracks. I had 3 people I followed up this week that literally said, oh, I closed on a house today, or, oh, I went a different direction and using a different realtor. And so I hired an assistant, and she started last week. So that took a lot of things away from me to focus again on my follow-up. So I really, DTD2, that's what I'm doing right now. But I've also got to go back and follow up with all 800 people in my database because I let stuff slip through the cracks. And now, as I have one thing under contract, it's so evident that June and July, I dropped the ball.
We can go back in time and look, if things aren't where we want them to be right now, instead of beating yourself up, go back in time, take a look and figure out what it was, and then choose not to make that mistake again. And you did the first thing I asked everybody to do, which is to figure out how many working days do you have left so you know how to best set up your days. 85 days left in the year, but you're only working 45 of them. And so you've got to be on purpose, with purpose, those 45 days.
You're right, but
I know I'm right, Lindsay. I've been right for 5.5 years. Been right for 5.5 years. Here's the thing. Pipeline Power Week next week is designed to make sure that your January is great. So that when you get to January, you aren't going, oh, damn it, I should have done more in October. Let's set it up now so that your pipeline is full going into the year. Erin, that is good observation. Go get after it. Follow your DTD2 schedule. You'll be in good shape. Marilyn Burke, you are next. Good morning.
Morning. We had a team meeting and we went over everything. We went over our numbers, our budget. We went over our shortfall. So our conversion, our open house conversion and turnovers were low this year. We analyzed why. We made some changes. We actually ended up setting our 2026 business plan. We reset the expenses for the team. Last quarter is always strong because we just came off cap. So we've got the pedal down. And I'm still on 2025, James. I have 8 weeks to Thanksgiving and we have the throttle down. So we're going to pull it out. I know what we need this year to be exactly on our business plan. And then we're just going to keep going. We have to keep the momentum. So first quarter is we get a good launch for the year. So we're in high energy mode and just went over missteps, some of the changes in the shifting market and mass. So we're ready. I feel ready, and I'm glad you did that. I love the timing of it. You always hit it at the right time. So I'm excited about next week. I'm not very good at tracking with you, but I am with the team. So we're following we know what we need to do. So it's good.
I'm proud of you. I think it's good to hit pause for a minute, go back and reflect, and then look ahead. And then here's the next thing.
Absolutely.
We're going to
Yeah.
do a call on this later this week. I think it's really important. We live in such a world that reacts and instead of responds. And everything is so fast. And that's just because of the speed at which we can communicate with one another now. We can communicate so much faster now than we could even 10 years ago, which has caused all of us to want things even faster. We've always wanted quick results, but I don't think this is a quick result business. I think this is a slow and steady business. And I am a move quickly, get things done quickly person. It's hard for me to say sometimes we need to slow down for a minute. We're going to do a call this week on it about the importance of slowing down, taking a look, getting clarity about the activity, committing to a strategy long term, and pursuing it over a series of months, and not reacting in the moment to things that we think did or didn't work, but being slow and steady. And that's what Marilyn Burke is talking about. Marilyn, thank you. Holla! Good morning.
Good morning from Connecticut. I did my goal for the year and I have a couple pending, but my goal always cleaning my database and make them strong. And I believe you interview somebody, I forgot who's that, has like 500 versus I have like 1700. And they are doing great business because concentrating in those and maybe add, like for me, I know she does event or he. And so is my goal and make my starting 2026 strong. So everything I'm building from now for 2026. And
This is the
database.
time, right? This is the time, Holla, to prepare for 26. Thank you. Thomas, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for letting me share. So, I mean, we learn from this group all the time. And a couple of years ago, we did a business planning clinic and Inspire. And from there, we know, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So I'm glad Hala said what she said, because in our peer group in our office, we were talking about it this past week, or last week, actually, to really ramp up and plan for the quarter coming ahead. And this was before October started. So every quarter, before the quarter starts, I take about 2 or 3 hours to just plan what I'm going to reach out to people for, all the holidays, the events we're going to hold and stuff. And then before each month starts, I write it out on the calendar. And then before each week starts, I write it out on my time block sheet. And if you protect your time and write it out before the day, you wake up and you don't have to guess what to do. It's just there. You get up and you do what you have to, and the results follow. And this is why we're doing it this time of year, because you clean up your database and you start 2026 strong. And that really like completely flipped my business upside down and changed everything for me 2 years ago. So props to you. And this is why we're going, to Tampa for business planning as well. So
I'm proud of you. I want to remind everybody what Thomas is talking about, right? Taking a minute to pause and reflect. Inspire members, if you go back to the email we sent you Saturday, September 2017, or September 27th, Saturday, September 27th, This Week in Inspire email, scroll down, and we sent you the quarterly review. There's a quarterly review so that you can sit and do the exercise Thomas just told you about. There's a worksheet. There's also a guide. The guide is really something we wrote for a rainmaker so they could facilitate this conversation with their team. But you can use it as a conversation with yourself. And then there's the worksheet to go through so you can pause and reflect. So Inspire members, you have that September 27th in your This Week in Inspire email. Maria Sims, good morning.
Good morning. I loved what you had to have us do yesterday with breaking down everything. And it made us realize that we have to lean into the daily habits that lead us to the goal. So, we know we want to have, 60 listings active by the end of the year. And the way we're going to do that and meet our buyer goal is by having 100 open houses. My team is so committed between now and the end of the year. We know how many letters people have to send for the seller letters. We've broken it down to how many that means that we have to send per week. So we did all of that yesterday, all of the framework, and now we just have to execute and keep sending stuff out and, keep doing the marketing. So I would say the biggest takeaway that I got yesterday was, yes, the goal is important, but actually what's the daily habit that you're going to start building? So where am I going to find these listings, and how many extra calls did I have to make yesterday and every day until the end of the year? And part of that shows up on our open houses too. So thank you for that.
Well, you have clarity on your process, which is really important. It's kind of like, anybody here ever been to the grocery? Anybody ever been to the grocery store? Put it in the chat. You ever been to a grocery store? Have you been with a list and without a list? If you've been with a list, it's a really purposeful grocery store visit. It doesn't take very long. You don't overspend. You get the things that you meant to get. Some of you even do your list by aisle. Like, I remember as a kid going to the grocery store with my mom. She was a big couponer. Like, we had coupons all over the place, had them in a box, and they were sorted in the box by what aisle the item was in. And she even knew, my mom knew the store backwards, forwards, and sideways. And so we were very purposeful at the grocery with my mom. So if you go with a list and you go aisle by aisle by aisle, you're in and out and you only get the things you need and you don't overspend and you don't waste any time. But if you're ever like, I just need to go to the grocery, and you go to the grocery and you end up wandering around the grocery. Who's ever wandered around the grocery? And you were in aisle 2, and then you went to aisle 7, and then you're back in aisle 3, and then you're over at aisle 9, and then you're back in aisle 2, and finally the guy in the little Publix apron is like, can I help you find something? And you're like, no, because I don't really know what I need. And you're just wandering around, and then you just get random stuff. And then your bill, by the way, is more expensive and got a bunch of crap you don't need. I need you to decide to have your list and go aisle by aisle. In the fourth quarter, you're going to make your list of here's what it's going to take, and then you're going to go aisle by aisle by aisle by aisle, on purpose, with purpose, and get it done. I'm sorry to the 5 of you we didn't get to today. Amal and Melody and Chatter, you don't share very often, so I'm so sorry I didn't get to you. I hope you'll raise your hands later this week. But the point is, let's get after it. Let's get clarity about where we've been, clarity about where we're going, and clarity about the process to get there, and then live with that process and make it happen. Inspire members, we'll see you at noon Eastern today for our RPR workshop with Ronnie DiCarlo. Everybody else, we'll see you tomorrow. You got your inspiration, go put in the perspiration. Bye.